In March 1513, Lorenzo de Medici's son Giovanni assumed the papacy as Leo X. Leonardo went to Rome that September, where he was received by the Pope's brother Giuliano. From September 1513 to 1516, Leonardo spent much of his time living in the Belvedere Courtyard in the Apostolic Palace, where Michelangelo and Raphael were both active. Leonardo was given an allowance of 33 ducats a month, and according to Vasari, decorated a lizard with scales dipped in quicksilver. The Pope gave him a painting commission of unknown subject matter, but cancelled it when the artist set about developing a new kind of varnish. Leonardo became ill, in what may have been the first of multiple strokes leading to his death. He practiced botany in the Gardens of Vatican City, and was commissioned to make plans for the Pope's proposed draining of the Pontine Marshes. He also dissected cadavers, making notes for a treatise on vocal cords. These he gave to an official in hopes of regaining the Pope's favor, but was unsuccessful. In October 1515, King Francis I of France recaptured Milan. Leonardo was present at the 19th of December meeting of Francis I and Leo X, which took place in Bologna. In 1516, Leonardo entered Francis's service, being given the use of the manor house Clos Lucé, near the king's residence at the Royal Château d'Amboise. Being frequently visited by Francis, he drew plans for an immense castle town the king intended to erect at Romorantin, and made a mechanical lion, which during a pageant walked toward the king and, upon being struck by a wand, opened its chest to reveal a cluster of lilies. Leonardo was accompanied during this time by his friend and apprentice Francesco Melzi, and supported by a pension totaling 10,000 scudi. At some point, Melzi drew a portrait of Leonardo. The only others known from his lifetime were a sketch by an unknown assistant on the back of one of Leonardo's studies, circa 1517, and a drawing by Giovanni Ambrogio Figino depicting an elderly Leonardo with his right arm wrapped in clothing. The latter, in addition to the record of an October 1517 visit by Louis d'Aragon, confirms an account of Leonardo's right hand being paralytic when he was 65, which may indicate why he left works such as the Mona Lisa unfinished. He continued to work at some capacity until eventually becoming ill and bedridden for several months. Leonardo died at Clos Lucé on the 2nd of May 1519 at the age of 67, possibly of a stroke. Francis I had become a close friend. Vasari describes Leonardo as lamenting on his deathbed, full of repentance, that he had offended against God and men by failing to practice his art as he should have done. Vasari states that in his last days, Leonardo sent for a priest to make his confession and to receive the Holy Sacrament. Vasari also records that the king held Leonardo's head in his arms as he died, although this story may be legend rather than fact. In accordance with his will, 60 beggars carrying tapers followed Leonardo's casket. Melzi was the principal heir and executor, receiving, as well as money, Leonardo's paintings, tools, library and personal effects. Leonardo's other longtime pupil and companion, Salai, and his servant Baptista di Villanis, each received half of Leonardo's vineyards. His brothers received land, and his serving woman received a fur-lined cloak. On the 12th of August 1519, Leonardo's remains were interred in the Collegiate Church of St. Florentin at the Château d'Amboise. Salai, or Il Salaino, the little unclean one, i.e., the devil, entered Leonardo's household in 1490 as an assistant. After only a year, Leonardo made a list of his misdemeanors, calling him a thief, a liar, stubborn, and a glutton, after he had made off with money and valuables on at least 5 occasions and spent a fortune on clothes. Nevertheless, Leonardo treated him with great indulgence, and he remained in Leonardo's household for the next 30 years. Salai executed a number of paintings under the name of Andrea Salai, but although Vasari claims that Leonardo taught him many things about painting, his work is generally considered to be of less artistic merit than others among Leonardo's pupils, such as Marco Diaghiano and Boltraffio.